Well, in the just concluded summit between the African Union and the European Union, it was agreed that a task force be formed aimed at dismantling human trafficking and criminal networks. However, some experts say if Europe encourages more legal migration into its continent, then fewer Africans will see the need to risk their lives through illegal routes. For more on this, Coletta Wanjohi spoke to the outgoing UNDP Africa Director for Governance and Peacebuilding, Dr. Ozonia Ojielo, in Addis Ababa.
The number one solution is about legal migration. And there's a decision by the European Commission on that. Numbers that countries should take in. How many of the European countries are willing to take that? Because if you allow legal migration, then many of the young people might decide to wait and try their luck. Just the same way people try the American lottery or the Canadian lottery. It's tossing your papers, and maybe if they need specific skills and you qualify with those skills, you don't need to go bribe anybody or be enslaved in a camp in Libya. You can legitimately migrate with your family, your spouse, and your children to Europe and save all the costs that have been, that now attend the migration challenge. So if Europe is unwilling to offer real legal migration, then there's a real problem. It means that this issue is going to continue for the foreseeable future.
We have the One Africa, One Voice, One Message strategy. Do you think this works when Africa meets other global partners?
You need to read the analysis done by different European institutions. Friends of Europe have produced a fantastic analysis on this that says the European Union should be much more bolder, much more ambitious in terms of the conversation that it's having. Now, regrettably, for the African Union, with all the best intentions that sit there in the Mandela Hall, you find that a number of countries are being enticed. Their problem seems so insurmountable that they can take a small bit of money and they ask an international organization, put a safe-way home here or detention center, whatever you call it, and return migrants to us. So it's not surprising that what you see in Libya happens.
Dr. Ozonia, as you wrap up your 3 years tour of service in Africa, this is probably some good time for us to give an analysis of how much Africa has done in terms of governance.
So the continent is advancing, and if you look at the latest Ibrahim Index on governance, you can see there's significant progress being made. But there have also been significant reversals. One of the reversals, of course, have been on issues of rule of law and security, and a lot of it essentially has to do with the war against terrorism, confronting violent extremism in the continent. Many governments use the security logic as a foundation for arresting and sometimes killing those who are perceived to be violent extremists. If you see where civil society is, the speed at which people can engage and interact, the speed at which information flows, then it's a challenge for leaders to keep pace. We should be happy that the continent has made some progress. We would wish that it's at a much more rapid pace, that a higher degree of ambition, because the nature of the challenges the continent faces require a higher degree of engagement. It cannot be incremental. If you ask me what I see as the biggest worry is the fact that a lot of our decision makers are assuming that change will come incremental, and it is not. It's not going to happen. It will not be incremental in Africa.